Hey, Jeff.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, man.
Happy
What's
Happy Mempho week.
happy Mempho week? I can't believe the band is playing again. It feels like it's been so long.
It has been as long as we've talked. So
When it was
Wilmington,
Asheville, right? They did Asheville right after that.
Asheville.
Yes.
That's right, Asheville. Um, yeah, I think we and
Mm,
most of the world, the
hmm
ones who believe in science and whatnot, thought that we were turning that old corner.
It was
But
looking good. I bought tickets to see Panic at Halloween.
that's right, you did.
I was gonna go to a work conference in Minneapolis in October. Like
Wow. Oh, wow.
things were happening.
Yeah,
Things were
I
happening.
planned a bunch of stuff at work, planned some events. We booked
Mhm.
like more rental events than we had in a year,
Yeah.
weddings, conferences.
hmm
2 weeks. In 2 weeks, we did like booked all this stuff. And then
What
2 weeks
happened?
later, we probably can't do that.
Yeah.
So thanks everybody. Been great.
Not everybody, Jeff.
Not
Thanks
everybody.
everybody.
Thank you to
Some people,
it's about 40% of the
mm,
population. It's like 30.
maybe something like
Here in
that.
Memphis, it's a inordinately high number. Like
Really?
more than 50% of the community is does not have their two shots.
Wow. We here in Woodford County are the most vaccinated county in the state. Proud of that.
Mhm.
But still only I think about 72%, maybe something like that. So
I think we'd take
still
that
got a
here.
ways to go. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, we have COVID in our house right now, Jeff.
Currently,
Currently in the house right now. Yep.
I'm sorry to hear
Brought home.
that.
Yeah, us too. Brought home from school. The third grader brought it home and then gave it to the kindergartner. About a week later, right as he was going back to school, the kindergartner got it. So now we're on lockdown some more. But I'm
Well,
putting
it's but yeah, you and Rachel, knock on
we
wood.
have. I mean, the Pfizer folks are working overtime in my body
I was
this
gonna
past
say,
week. I've been coming from all directions
did
because
they
the
did they
kindergartner is a like I love you, I want to give you hugs and kisses kind of guy.
that's
So
sweet.
that's been hard.
Have they been telling you when they're updating the microchips at all?
No, but I did get the new iPhone 13, and my 5G coverage is awesome. Anyway, so but no,
Anyway,
we're if you're concerned, the kids are most they did fine. There was like it was a cold, at least for now. Who knows what long term effects it may have on them? But they've been home from school, which sucks. But
yep.
me and Rachel have been good. We've tested negative. I've gotten tested, I think, 5 times in the last 2 weeks, and been I'm 5 for 5 so far. So
That's
appreciate
good.
all the the vibes and thoughts and prayers, and we'll get through it. Appreciate it.
I'll send thoughts and prayers your way, Harvey.
Thanks, Jeff.
Y'all are deserving of them. And you're growing a goatee, apparently.
Yeah.
That's new.
What do you
Have you
think?
had a goatee before?
Ever in my life, I have
Mhm.
a few times.
Yeah,
It's a little salt and peppery, so
it
sometimes
is.
kind of looks like a little patchwork.
It's
But
distinguished, though. It's
yeah.
really distinguished.
My wife doesn't like it. She likes how it looks, but she doesn't want me to kiss her ever.
Well, the price you pay for looking suave sometimes.
That might backfire on her. I'm thinking. So
So
anyway,
anyway,
the people that
it's
are here watching are definitely here to listen to the
that
things that are happening in our lives.
that. But it's Mempho week.
It's Mempho week.
Literally a mile in that direction from where I currently sit. Um,
Do you think you might
and
go? Do you? I
yeah,
mean, because it is literally the question of would you go see the band if they were in your backyard?
yes, of course
Yeah,
I would.
that's awesome.
I would. It would. They. I mean,
Are
the
you doing
same.
all three? You're doing all three shows?
Yeah,
Doing
yeah.
full weekend? Okay.
This year, this amphitheater, which is the Radians Amphitheater at the Memphis
Okay.
Botanic Gardens,
Mm.
has hosted such luminaries as Brad Paisley, Cheryl
Ooh.
Crow, Little
Hey.
Big Town, Speedwagon.
Wow.
And
Without the REO?
No. I mean, I'm trying to be hip. I'm trying to show the audience,
like
how
the
in touch I am.
Brothers or
Exactly. The Doobies, whatnot.
Mm.
But Earth, Wind, and Fire is coming later in the year.
Ooh.
Of course, sans Maurice White, who was born here in Memphis. But
yeah.
So yeah, it's exciting. I will say this, there's not a ton of buzz about the festival. I have a feeling it's going to pick up as we get closer to Saturday. The news here has been COVID. Sadly, we had a mass shooting at Kroger out in Collierville. Ford is building a $5.6 billion electric truck and battery plant about 40 miles from here.
They're building one in Kentucky too. We're all very excited about that. I didn't know they were giving it to Tennessee too.
Yeah.
That's cool.
And it's 40 miles outside of Memphis and create several thousand new jobs. And so the festival really hasn't come up, but I've noticed bits and pieces. Schools is going to be on WYXR radio this, I think, Friday at 11 with, I'm assuming Robbie Grant's going to interview him. Robbie is the guy that runs the station and is a member of Big Ass Truck, who we've talked about several. And they just had a big show here in Memphis not that long ago. So, I think it's like there's smaller community festivals have kind of ramped back up in the fall, and some have been scaled down or originally thought would be scaled down, but they've come back full force. So it's going to see how things go. You have to have Vax card or a negative test. So there actually, shouts to the organizers, you can go on Thursday before the show, before the weekend. So if you're in town and you want to take care of it, 12 to 5 at the amphitheater, you can go and show your card and
get a wristband. And
so you don't have to worry about it before the show on Friday, which starts, I think, at 3:30 with the city champs, who we can go through the
so can I talk about I want to do that. Can I talk about what the music? I've seen a lot of music since we last talked, Jeff.
I'm sure, because have you seen Widespread Panic?
I have not seen Widespread Panic.
You've probably just seen like Trampled by Turtles side projects and
no,
something like that.
I've seen both flavors of Grateful Dead tribute bands.
Oh,
I saw J-Rad in New Haven, and I saw Dead & Co. in Cincinnati. Not that similar. Very different vibes.
Did you like both of them?
I loved the J-Rad show. It was so much fun. It was better than I even thought it would be. It was what I needed. It was a perfect night in New Haven, weather-wise, and Rachel and I had a ton of fun. Good people, great music. Dead & Co. was really disappointing. And I mean, I'm not a Dead & Co. apologist, but I like Dead & Co. Like, I'm cool with the slow groove. Like, I'm really fine with it. But it was so slow. Like, it was just like we're just like, can they just get going? Like, it was like Mr. Charlie and Help Slip Frank. Those were the highlights of the whole night. Everything else was boring.
It's like those. You can always tell which drugs the original band was on based on how quick they played in which era. And I know these guys are clean, but you would swear it was a whole heck of a lot of opiates.
It was a Music Never Stops. Music Never Stopped. Easy Answers. Music Never Stopped opener.
Ugh,
if that tells you anything.
Ugh.
Really, not.
That's brutal.
Quite the tone setter.
No. So we haven't really had an episode since I saw Fish. So I saw Fish.
Oh yeah! Oh my gosh! Yeah, no, I want to hear about that too. But I did also go to.
It's all about you. Let's go. Let's get.
Let me just finish, and then I want to hear about how the Fish show was, because you were supposed to do a live stream, but you didn't. We had our Railbird.
I was too into the flow. I couldn't do it.
You had surrendered to the flow.
Surrendered to the flow
by that point.
Yep.
We had our Railbird Festival here in Lexington, which was, they had some logistics issues, but it was great sets. My Morning Jacket was awesome. We saw Billy Strings. He was great. Dave Matthews Band crushed it on the closing set. played a bunch, like no new songs. Every song was from like 03 or earlier, which is thumbs up from me.
Mm-hmm.
And Black Pumas were great.
Mm-hmm.
It was Jason Isbell played Can't You Hear Me Knocking? He played Super 8, which was like, that's the closer, right? You know, it's the closer. And then they didn't walk off stage. I was like, ooh, what's going to happen? And then play Can't You Hear Me Knocking, which is fun. So great festival, great time at Railbird. That being said, I'm now done, Jeff. I want to hear about
it. Well, what else have I seen?
No, I just want to hear about Fish.
You want to hear about Fish? We're going to see the Jason Isbell on the 8th here in Memphis. He's playing at Graceland, which is super exciting. And mostly because he bent Graceland to his will and is have to show your Vax card or 72 hours of a negative test, which Graceland won't ever do.
Right.
So that's cool. And Elvis Costello's doing it for his show and some others. So that's good that Graceland's doing that. I was really concerned that they wouldn't. So we're seeing that. And then we're going to Wisconsin for fall break. And I think we're going to see the Truckers at the Barrymore in October.
Wow.
So
that's old school.
It will be. It'll be pretty cool. It's so funny to bring that
into the podcast. That is the site of Jeff's first ever Panic concert.
25th anniversary, 96.
Wow.
So it'll be almost the 25th anniversary. That'll be something.
Do you think they'll open with Pilgrims?
I don't know. I'll request it. I'll DM them on Instagram.
You should.
So yes, I saw Fish at Oak Mountain. So that was the second show of the tour. Rogers, Arkansas was the first show, which by the time I had gotten to, I like to look at Fish set lists, even though I don't know what they mean. But I like to look at them and just see like, oh, I think I know a couple of those. And the set list, like, but then got some reports that the show was really not great, pretty slow.
Oh, not great.
Not great. And just trying to first show of the tour, knocking off the cobwebs, whatever.
Dead and Co style.
So Oak Mountain was my first time at Oak Mountain, and I will say that we stayed at the Holiday Inn that like abuts Oak Mountain, which I've already, if there's any rumors that Panic is even going to Oak Mountain, you should just book a room at that Holiday Inn because it's amazing. You can look out your window into Shakedown Street.
Mm-hmm. Is that the one that has like you can like walk over a bridge over a little creek, and that's where good stuff.
So
no things happening on that bridge.
No, it was fine. They were reading Bible passages, I think. It was Friday. It was Torah. Yeah. So anyway, but they we went to the show, went through Shakedown, which was super funny. Shakedown is so pro now with like
I know. I went
to the Dead and card readers and like it's like good God, it's so funny.
I was like, this looks like it's like a street fair. Basically.
It is like a street fair. It's you can tell the folks that are. I mean, it's wood carvings and stuff to hang in your kitchen and
so wait, this shit says made in China.
It's intense. The beer like guy and the coolers like are all selling heady toppers and like
it's all corporate like AB InBev stuff and
that's right. So went to the show. We had really good seats, kind of stage right on the far left side of the amphitheater, and didn't look like it was going to be pretty full. And then by the time the show got going, you could tell the back bleacher area was really full. And again, like I know Fish, but I don't know it.
Mm-hmm.
So,
was this your second show ever?
Third.
Third.
So I depended on the crowd to like tell me like what was going on and friend with the
because the crowd is awesome at a Fish show.
It was cool. It was great. And like the best part about it was, well, there are a couple. Musical highlight. Carini was the musical highlight, which I couldn't have told you what Carini sounded like.
I would totally. You could play me 12 Fish songs, and I would.
It apparently was the longest Carini ever, or something like that, or second longest ever, and it was great. But much like Dead and Co, it was slow. The whole show was really slow and languid, and I don't know we were off to the side, so we couldn't really see the lights anyway, but the stage there, the setup isn't big enough to host the whole lighting rig. So we missed out on some of the lights, which I saw videos of later in the tour, and it looked amazing. Like their lighting is just out of control.
Yeah. Right.
And,
well, you got to supplement the music.
Yeah. But the show was fine. Yeah. The show was fine.
Okay.
But it was a little slow. Like I expected just to see a little bit more activity.
Do you think, okay, so that's a great point. I mean, do you think that is part of, obviously all these guys are getting older, right? And we've talked about how Panic is a rock band that jams and Fish is a jazz band that jams. Do you think that like part of that is like built into their core, that like that's how they're going to go? That's the path they're going to walk down.
So if you read the tour review,
I did not.
You did not. Rogers.
Did you write it? Did you write it?
I did. Yeah. Rogers was the lowest graded show of the tour, and Oak Mountain and Oak Mountain, One Night at Hershey were like the next two, or like the bottom other, like two of the bottom three. And it was interesting because then I talked to folks that went to Nashville, Hershey and some other things. And like, of course, they were like, oh, these shows were great. You just caught a bad show. So and so. Maybe so. But it was definitely very slow, pretty linear. They did that. Carini was like the only time I felt like they really took off in kind of a cool direction. And it was interesting to see where they were going to go. Fishman has all these new like samples and like tech tools and stuff that just play.
Yeah. Just play the drums. You're good at playing drums.
He's very good at the drums.
Yes.
And I mean, again, I've never thought they weren't talented. It's just that it's just not my thing. And I think that TikTok I sent you today, which has been going around, it's like Fish is just a bunch of old guys who jump on trampolines and whistle. And they did not do trampolines and they did not whistle.
That's unfortunate.
So we were on the left side of the crowd, stage right, and there are these two younger guys sitting in front of us and a couple, and then like some girls, like a group of girls kind of in their late 20s, early 30s, kind of in a group. Then there was this just big burly like hippie guy who was wearing patchworks, which was awesome because it was like 90, and he was standing next
patchworks.
Yes, he was standing next to Jay, and Jay just leaned over at one time. He's like, this guy is hotter than the sun. He just is like radiating heat. And he just was like, he just was this bear of a man that just was radiating heat. And so we went to, and not only it was my third Fish show ever, but it was the first time I had gone to Whataburger after the show. Across from the venue.
Oh, yeah. And so I'm way more interested in the Whataburger review.
So there were like, 10,000 people at that show, whatever it is, 12,000, whatever the capacity is. So we go into we leave before the encore, and we didn't miss anything. We could hear it anyway when we were walking to the show. It was a 3-song encore. So it was pretty long.
Walked out before the encore, man.
That was the plan all along. And because we wanted to
get to Whataburger.
We wanted to beat the crowd to Whataburger. And so literally we're standing in line at Whataburger. We just get there behind this group of like high school kids. They have like 3 people cooking that are in a fight when we get in. There's one person in the entire restaurant that knows what she's doing. I wish I could remember her name. She should be
bless her heart.
Truly bless her heart. She was amazing. She took orders, she expedited, she delivered food, she told the chefs, she told the guys cooking. There was a manager there who all the manager did was like, I'm so sorry, y'all. We're really understaffed right now. We're trying our best. And like he would go in the back and hide, and she would come out and like take 5 orders, go back, bag up the previous 5, hand them out to people. She was amazing. Wow. So we're waiting in line at Whataburger. So literally we're near, I'll say, a dozen people like closely throughout the show. How many of those people do you think we saw at Whataburger after the show?
8.
Yes, 8 of them. 2/3 of the people in close proximity to us showed up at Whataburger. It was hilarious.
Did they hear you talking about the Whataburger? You think that might have been part of it? Or?
I don't know, but it was awesome. And Whataburger, everything was cold when we got it, but it didn't matter. We hadn't eaten dinner. But the funny thing is then a friend of the pod, Jay, who went to the Nashville shows, like saw 4 of them at the Nashville shows too.
Mm.
And the 2 younger guys that were in front of us, which we've seen this. I mean, you and I have done this too, where we're at a show together and we're so overcome with joy, we just start hugging, during Dying Man. It's always a really emotional time.
I've never seen you hug during it.
But there were these 2 young kids, and they were like on tour, and you could tell they weren't more than 18 or 19. They were really, and like, I forget what song it was, but they were just so overjoyed, and we're hugging on each other. And I was like, oh, besties, it was really nice. But
Nice.
So it was a good show. I'll go back and
Cool.
see him again. I'd totally go see him at Oak Mountain, wherever it was. But
Okay.
it was funny though, that the one I went to was like the one, yeah, man, it's just too bad. Like, you just didn't see you just saw a really bad show. Like, it's totally different if you would have seen, like, third night in Nashville or second night in Nashville. Like, no, I probably would like it a little bit better. But so yeah, that was the big musical, big show highlight. And I was really concerned after I got back, when the band did Asheville, but then they canceled New York and California shows and stuff. And I was like, oh God, is Fish going to be the last show I ever see?
Oh man. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Well, I'm glad that's not going to happen, Jeff.
No, it's not. So it is going to rain this week. Yeah. So where do you want to start about Mempho?
Let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about the music, and then I definitely want to tell people about because where's the good barbecue, and do you got Augustus fried chicken, and where what's the best historic like soul museum that you could go to while you're in town or anything like that. But first, let's do the music.
All right, let's go through the lineup.
3 nights, right? I mean, so the Avett Brothers are the headliner. You definitely want to get to that on Sunday.
Sunday night, yes. Working backwards, Will Hogan, the Avett Brothers, definite must-sees now. So Friday night, starting a little later, just 5 bands on the docket, but all 5 are great.
It's a work day, you know what I mean?
You give
folks a good time there.
3:30, the City Champs are kicking things off at the main stage, the Panic stage. They're a instrumental trio from all Memphians. Joe Restivo, who's one of the best guitar players I've ever seen, plays anything and everything, plays in the MDs, the Booker T and the MGs tribute band, plays with Don Bryant and the Bo Keys, so he plays old school Stax and Royal Studio stuff. Plays in this group called Detective Bureau, which is this CTI 70s jazz, Latin jazz inspired, like it's almost like soundtrack music. It's just amazing stuff. So Joe's awesome. Keyboard player is Al Gamble, who is from Memphis, I believe, but played here forever. His brother is Chad Gamble, who's the drummer, and Jason Isbell. Al plays keyboards in St. Paul and the Broken Bones. And the drummer is George Slepik, who's played with everybody, but some of you may know him as the drummer from Chris Robinson Brotherhood. So they're at 3:30, and then after them on the main stage will be Billy Strings, Harvey's close and personal friend, Billy Strings. And then
have you ever seen Billy Strings play before?
I haven't. So there you go.
Are you gonna turn your back, or are you gonna actually?
No, watch? I'm gonna bring him into my.
Have you listened to the new record? Have you listened to his new record?
No.
He has a new record. You should listen to it.
He shows up on the Sirius XMs, and then I listen to him on the re-listen sometimes. He's
got a there's a song that you would appreciate the title of. It's it was the Chevy slogan, Heartbeat of America. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
He's got a song called that. That's really good on the new record.
And then
you should check it out.
Okay. Panic.
It's available on Spotify or Apple Music.
Okay. And then Panic will hit the stage at 8:30 and are booked till 11. That will be a hard 11, kids.
Okay, that's good intel. 11. That's good intel.
The venue.
So that's a one-set show. That's a one-set show.
That's what Jay and I were talking about over the weekend.
2.5 hour slot is a one-set show.
I would love a one-set show.
Yeah.
Love a one-set show. The amphitheater is so it's adjacent to the Memphis Botanic Gardens. It's across from Overton Park Golf Course, which is a Muni golf course. So if y'all want to golf cheaply, there are tons of great Muni golf courses throughout the city, and there's one right across the street from the venue. But it's also in a residential neighborhood, and depending on what's going on with humidity and wind and whatnot, the sound from this place can travel. And so it's going to be a hard cap at 11.
Can you hear it at your house a mile away?
So no,
Okay.
I have
That's a-
occasionally, but I've heard stories. My wife's cousin works at the amphitheater, and they said they've gotten complaints from
miles
3-4
away.
miles away. So,
Yeah.
but that's going to be a hard 11.
Okay.
So, and then on the other stage, the side stage, Southern Avenue is playing, who we've talked about and who we've seen and such. And then Lucinda Williams is playing between Billy Strings and Widespread. So that's a Widespread Panic. So that's a great headliner for the second stage.
Give me. Okay, I need a prediction, Jeff. Who, if any,
who sits in?
Here?
Billy Strings is, I think I would put Billy Strings at least even odds.
Okay, I was going to say, I didn't know if it was better than, I was going to say high probability, or you think
I'd take even money.
You could pick them. You're going to make it a pick 'em.
It's a pick 'em, yeah.
Okay.
I would put Sleeper. I was advised that this is not possible, but I do think that I would put it at, I would say 10-1, maybe 15. I'll say 15-1. That the drummer from Southern Avenue, TK, would sit in on drums.
Okay. I mean, that seems like a.
And I think that might be wishful thinking on my part, because I think it would be amazing.
Yeah.
Because she's awesome, but that would be great. I think those would be the only two, I think, for the first night.
No Lucinda. Different vibe. It's not.
Yeah. I mean, maybe bust out a I don't know.
Highlands in the Stream or something. No, okay.
Second night, we've got a handful of bands that I've read on the paper but don't know what they sound like. So Dirty Streets, this is the Memphis band, Andy Frasco and the UN, which shows up in my jam bass feed a lot. And Moon Taxi, which is from Nashville. Do you need to know anything about Moon Taxi?
Not really. I mean, I've seen their name again. I've seen their name on things before, but
and then the main stage, 3 awesome acts. Julian Baker, who's a singer-songwriter from here in Memphis, who's put out, I think, 3 records now. And first record, Sprained Ankle, was kind of the darling of the Pitchfork set for a long time. She's in that group, Boy Genius, with Phoebe Bridgers and Lucy Dacus, which have made a great record, and Phoebe Bridgers is nominated for a Grammy. But Jillian is amazing. Just tiniest little thing, but a vocal powerhouse. Her arrangements can be really sparse, just her and a Fender, and she's awesome. Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats will be preceding Panic. So if you want your Saturday night guest, I would go Nathaniel Rateliff, and I think I'm going to call the song too.
Okay, because now I don't think he's certainly never sat in before. I don't know if have they shared festival. There have been opportunities before.
Maybe one of those forecastles or something like that.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna say, if he's gonna sit in, I'm gonna say he's gonna sit in on Shape I'm In.
Okay. What is that based on? Just
it's a good fit for him vocally. And also, he was part
of
a
Memphis connection? Or?
No, he was part of that Last Waltz show at Bridgestone a few years ago. The band song "The Shape I'm In," Harvey.
Right? No, I know who did "The Shape I'm In." Jeff. In fact, for your information, I saw the very first time Widespread Panic ever played "The Shape I'm In" at the Red Mile in 1995.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. Well, anyway,
it was an opener, and I didn't even know what the song was, but whatever.
So I'm dreamcasting a little bit, but that would make sense for me. But maybe he'll sit in on a Jerry Joseph song. Maybe he'll sit in on Chainsaw City.
What do you think there'll be any nod to what do they call it? The Bluff City? Is that
Bluff City?
What
I don't know.
Think,
any
nods to the
Proving Ground is sort of the river song.
No. I'm thinking more like cover style.
They could do Dock of the Bay, because they played that before. Nathaniel Rateliff is a Stax artist, so
I'm thinking more down that. Could they play a Stax song that they never?
Maybe they'll bring back Green Onions. Maybe they'll bring back Green Onions.
Okay, see now
that doesn't sound like Green Onions.
Right? Yeah,
it never does it. It's going to be like the one on 71295, which
Yeah.
still don't know why they call it that, but double jointed.
Right. I know. I had it. I probably have it back
I
here
know
somewhere.
we talked about this on a forward podcast.
Get Scott. I know we need a ruling on that. I need to get Ted or Scott Holcomb on here and tell me who made the Green Onions call.
Who decided that sounded like that? And then Panic again will be at 8:30 and Hard Cap at 11.
Okay. So I do think one set makes sense. If they got 2.5 hours, they can do a solid 2-hour set and then a 2-song encore, and that's 2.5 hours. You don't want to see an hour set break, an hour, and a 1-song encore. That's nobody wants that.
No.
Right?
I would want one set, 3-song encore. No Flip the Birds.
No.
Sunday gets started early and ends early. I think AVITs are scheduled to end at 9 because Monday is a work day.
What do you think the turnout? Are you going to go on Sunday?
Yeah.
Do you think there will be a smaller crowd on Sunday?
Yes.
Than Friday and Saturday because of the boys?
Friday and Saturday individual tickets are sold out. There's still some 3-day passes.
You can still get in and get Sunday.
You can still get Sunday, yeah. Sunday lineup, the Wilkins sisters, who are the daughters of Reverend Robert Wilkins. So it'll be some blues. Liz Brasher, who I'm a huge fan of, awesome singer-songwriter from here in Memphis. She's had her play at the museum. We've told her story in an exhibit at the museum. She's fantastic. Plays a hell of a electric guitar as well. Will Hogue, singer-songwriter. Christone Kingfish Ingram. I don't know why he used his real name. Everybody just knows him as Kingfish. If y'all know Kingfish, he's like the early 20s blues guitar guy from not too far down from here. He's awesome. Waxahachie, and then Black Pumas, who are definitely like, a hip in band right now. The last time they played in Memphis, they played at a club called Growlers in front of
25 people.
35 people. It was one of the weirdest shows I've been to. Only because
that feels like that's the kind of band that I feel like I guess maybe they don't need, but they feel like a band that feeds off of having a crowd, right?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
It
like
was
Cowboy
so funny.
Mouth from New Orleans. That kind of band. You know what I mean? It's like to see Cowboy Mouth play to 10 people. It's just like you're trying too hard. Y'all need
Fred
to dial
LeBlanc
it back.
is just not going to bring his A game if he's only got.
He will. No, that's all he does. There's no other game for Fred.
The Pumas played at a club called Growlers, which is the old high tone on Poplar Avenue by the zoo, the Brooks Art Museum. Played in front of 35 people. It was weird because there was like a small group of people that all sat in these long tables, and they all had like brand like Black Pumas t-shirts and hats on that they clearly had just gotten at the show, which is always so interesting because you can tell that they're not necessarily there because of the music. Like they just came along and were invited and they were given the stuff. So then they just put it on.
They call those people custies, I think is what they call them.
They just put them on. They just put the new shirt on over their existing shirts, which I've never done. I've never bought. I don't think I've ever bought a shirt in a show.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning of a show, maybe on the way out, but then like the put it over your own shirt thing, I've never done that.
It's like the rich guys on courtside at NBA games.
Yes.
When they have and they wear they have their like button down Brooks Brothers shirt, but then they got to pull over the t-shirt that they gave out.
Or they put a jersey over it, which is hilarious.
Yeah.
But first time Black Pumas have been back since then, and everybody knows them, loves them. They're an awesome band. They'll be great. Yeah. And then Avett Brothers headlining, which I have not seen since 2009, maybe. Mm-hmm. I seeded the Avett Brothers and the entire continent to Europe to my ex-girlfriend when we broke up. So it's I'm pulling back. I'm gonna go.
You feel okay with that deal? I mean, I think you did that pretty well.
It's been a minute.
The Avett Brothers are fun. Well, I've seen them a few times.
I'm one of those guys though that's like you said about Dave Matthews, where they didn't play anything newer than 03. Like I would say that about the Avett Brothers. It's like they didn't play anything newer than like 03 or 04 or whatever.
Yeah. The one thing about them that I noticed is that there are hardcore Avett Brothers fans who are very serious about that band. They know every word to every song.
Oh yeah.
And they are very much into it. And
we saw them at Riverside Ballroom in Milwaukee. And so we went from, again, same thing as Black Pumas, went from seeing them play at the High Noon in Madison with like 30 or 40 people and to playing selling out Riverside Ballroom. And it was in March, maybe. I feel like it was in March. It was sometime early in the year, and it was cold out. And so we were walking to get in line, and like we lost counted, like easily 20 of like young men who were dressed like one of the Avid brothers. And not just like wearing like, oh, he just has that. I mean,
it wasn't Halloween, right?
No, it was March. I mean, but here's the thing. It's like I have a beard and typically have a beard and will wear a flannel shirt, but I don't grow my hair long or straighten it and tie a bandana around my head so I can look like Seth Avid or Scott Avid, as the case may be. And it was hilarious because it was legit. Like they were legit Avid Brothers tribute artists. And it was I mean, that was one of those things where you get in line and we're talking to Jen and we're just like, this is beyond us at this point. And it's the same thing. You go to the show and it's just like people screaming their lungs out, singing from first note to last note.
What do they call that when they do, like when people go, dress up as like superheroes and go to cons and stuff? Is that what they were doing?
Yeah. What is that called? I should know. Oh,
Jeff, man.
Cosplay.
Yeah, they're cosplaying. They're cosplaying the Avids.
Yeah, that was funny.
I want you to count. Can you take some pictures? Tell me if there have to be people.
If I find
at Mempho on Sunday cosplaying the Avid brothers.
Yeah, there will be. And Davids have a pretty close relationship with Memphis. The bass player Bob's child had spent a lot of time at St. Jude, so they've done fundraising concerts for St. Jude, private shows in the past, and he's talked them up on his podcast,
which is also on the Osiris Media,
also on the Osiris Network. So, but yeah, it's a really good lineup. Like if this is last year, they didn't do it. There were two prior. The first year was kind of a nice eclectic mix. Second year was definitely trended younger, i.e.
Anderson Paak,
not for Jeff. And then, but this year is like,
that's right in your wheelhouse.
All the bearded guys come on out. So the venue holds, I think, about 8,000. So it's flat. It's a flat venue, maybe a slight pitch heading back. The stage is on the south end of the property. It faces north. It'll be a big open field. VIP will be staged right. So on the left side, when you're looking,
that's where you'll be. The stage right, stage left, Jeff. That has to stop. What we do is it's either Mikey side or
school side.
Mikey side or school side. That's all you got.
It's George side, Harvey. It's George side.
That's fine. That's acceptable.
Been that way since 2002. George side is VIP. School side is not
regular people,
or GA, and then there's a sidewalk that kind of divides it, and the mixing area will be there, and then it's pretty much open with some trees and stuff, and then they'll have a bunch of food trucks and beer trucks and stuff, and so it'll be nice.
Did you see RIP West Delk?
I was wondering.
The sound guy from the 90s. I mean, a guy who really was like a big part of. Sam Holt did a great couple posts on his Instagram feed about some stories about Wes. You should. About how big of a impact he had on their sound. You know what I mean? Especially their live sound back in the times when they were great. You know what I mean? So anyway,
yes, overall, looking forward to it. The weather forecast keeps getting worse as we get closer.
Tell us about that, Jeff. You should be.
Can you? I should get any one of the number of great early morning weather people. We have Brittany Bryant, Channel 5. Someone's one of our favorites in this house. Chance of rain tonight. Pretty good chance of rain tomorrow, and then pretty much a chance of rain off and on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I don't know how much it's going to rain. I don't think it's going to be a washout by any stretch. Hopefully there's no lightning, so they don't have to evacuate because there's a lot of trees there. A little wash off. Yeah, a little rinse off. There's nothing wrong with that. No, it'll play chilly water. How do you prepare? How will you prepare for a scattered showers? Scattered showers. You bring in. You got a North Face jacket you're going to be bringing, or you got poncho, or are you just going to power through? You take your shirt off after it gets wet. Is that your kind of just? It's typically what I do.
Really?
Been known to do that in the past. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
we went to Mexico. I got a tan, so
Uh-huh.
I might. Thank you for that
Sun's
reminder.
out. Sun's out, guns out.
I might go Friday during the day and get myself a lighter rain jacket. I have one, but it's a little too. It's meant for colder climes, so I can layer underneath it. But it shouldn't be a washout, but it might rain. So be
Get you like a
prepared.
32 degrees one at Costco.
Not
There you go.
Nordstrom Rack. But yeah, it should be a fun weekend, and we're happy to have all of you that are listening, that are coming, and should be a good time. We've got.
I want to shout out, yeah, Josh says school side trashy, but true side.
Yeah. And one of the bummers about this festival is, Panic's around for 2 nights. Is the band is likely going to be bubbling and locking
so
down.
So they're not going to be able to get out. You're not going to see Dave at Stacks on Saturday.
No, you're not, and can't go record shopping and whatnot either. So that's kind of a bummer because you always hope that you can see those folks out and about.
What do you think we could do? What do you think we could do, Jeff, to help mitigate the virus? Is there anything you think we could do as a community, all of us together, that would help? Is there anything? Can you think of anything?
I've done my part.
Oh, sorry. Anyway.
Should we get into Jeff's recommendations? Memphis
Let's
recommendations?
Do it. The Memphis Rex. I gotta play my little.
We do this, and then we'll close with some Panic news, and then I'll give my Panic live show recommendation for the week too.
Okay.
And
I want to apologize to everybody who's been out there waiting with bated breath. I even got a message from some. Oh man, I should shout out. I forget. I'm sorry. Somebody sent a message this week that was like, "Y'all gonna do a Mempho preview or anything?" And I'm like, "Yeah, here we are."
Thank you, guys. One guy.
It's been a hard. You would think that we would have all this time being on lockdown.
Not easy.
It's been a rough.
Where would you like me to start? I've got four categories. I've got eating, drinking, doing, or watching.
Okay. I mean, I think you gotta start strong. So let's start eating.
Okay.
That's what
all right.
People, and then,
so I'm going to give you.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you 5 recommendations, and this is by no means an exhaustive list, mind you.
No, clearly not. 5 gets you. I mean, you're not going to be able to hit all these in a weekend.
But we got pizza, Vietnamese, barbecue, soul food, vegan food. How about that?
Well, that's pretty exhaustive.
So we're going to start with pizza. If you're free on any time before you go to the show, Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, if it's the weather's decent and you like beer, but you also like pizza, you should check out the new Wiseacre Brew Pub in downtown Memphis. On BB King, which is close to the National Civil Rights Museum, close to Central Barbecue, really close to Beale Street. Great new tap room, like 15 flavors on tap. They've got some killer. I like malty beers. Those of you that I've listened before, they have a great Oktoberfest. They've got a great amber. They got a great Bach right now, and they have a great amber.
A good amber. They have a
Moon
brown
biscuits.
ale.
It's one of the best amber. Neon brown's good too. It's a hoppy brown. But Wiseacre has great beer. But they also have pizza there, Little Betty, which is New Haven style pizza.
Ooh, Connecticut pizza.
And is run by Andrew Michael, which are these 2 amazing James Beard winning chefs that have their flagship restaurant, and they do have 2 other restaurants downtown, and their Hog and Hominy restaurant will be served. They will have pizza at the festival. But Little Betty is my favorite pizza in town right now. It's killer. Super. I like crispy crust that doesn't droop. Crispy crust that does not droop. Awesome cheese, cool toppings. It's perfect, and they have a nice outdoor area as well. And that's also the Wiseacre. If you like Vietnamese food, there's a lot of great Vietnamese food in Memphis. There's a pretty strong Vietnamese.
Really? Is there a reason why that there's?
Oh well, you've heard of the thing called the Vietnam War, right?
Was that? I mean, is that part of critical race theory? Are we allowed to talk about that?
Anyway, a number of Vietnamese came to live in Memphis following the Vietnam War.
I only ask because as a native New Orleanian, there is a significant Vietnamese
very similar to that,
New Orleans.
And Minnesota,
partially because
both ends of the river.
Yeah, right. Because there's a big. I mean, it's a similar climate, and there's a big French presence there, which is, a lot of that in Vietnam. But okay, sorry, I just didn't know if there was a thing.
My favorite. Cool. There's a lot of great Vietnamese. Yeah, a lot of great Vietnamese
benefit
restaurants.
for you guys.
Yes.
Vietnamese food.
Pho Bin or Pho Bin is great. They have more tofu dishes on their menu than any Vietnamese restaurant I've ever been to. They fry their tofu. Lemongrass tofu is amazing. It's just great there. It's family run. Mom and dad and older daughter do the cooking. Younger daughter and son and others do all the serving up front. Super friendly, great people, great food. That's in Midtown area. It's on the corner of Avalon and Madison, which is across the street from the Cash Saver, which is one of the great beer stores here in Memphis too. So if you're looking to buy some beer to take home or looking to buy some beer to drink outside at your hotel or wherever, Cash Saver in Midtown's a great place to go for that.
Okay. All right, now this is a big one though. Where are you going barbecue here?
I am. Barbecue is next.
I know, but this is people have opinions, right?
So James Bryan says Central Barbecue Midtown. Yeah. So Central Barbecue is the never treat you wrong. Everybody likes it. Rock solid barbecue place in Memphis. There's there's 3 that are owned by the original founders of Central, downtown, Midtown, and up on Summer. And then there's a 4th in East Memphis, really not too far from the venue. That's a franchise. It's really nice. It's comfortable. For some reason, the barbecue is just not as good as the original. The original is on Central. Great place. Shoulder's good. I'm not a ribs guy, so shoulder's really good there. They have good sides. Insider tip: if you get barbecue nachos, get the barbecue nachos, but ask for the house chips instead of the tortilla chips. They don't charge extra for them. It is on point, and you can get beer there too, which is a really important thing. Because my other barbecue place, that if you just want to eat,
were you going to say Central Barbecue, or you just going to mention
Central? No, Central's my working in the hospitality industry. Try to know that
you can't go wrong with it, right? Somebody comes they were like, I want to eat some barbecue, and I'm in Memphis. I always ask, I want to eat some barbecue.
Yes, I say, how do you like your barbecue? And if they just want a straightforward place, it's like, do you need sides? And if they say no, I tell them to go to this place, which is my favorite place, near and dear to me, and that's Payne's on Lamar and McLean. It's in an old gas station, family run, been around forever. They used to be on Elvis Presley, kind of near the museum. Nondescript building, terrazzo floor, a broken tile floor. They have chopped shoulder, sliced shoulder, rib sandwich, sausage, bologna, and I think that's it. So 5 and ribs. So 5 things. The coleslaw is amazing. It comes out, it's neon green. It's got pickle relish in it. It's very sour, but the barbecue sauce, they have mild, medium, and hot. Great. You get a shoulder sandwich, jumbo chopped. I get medium, but most people like hot. Jumbo chopped hot, extra brown, which is the more bark. Comes on a giant styrofoam plate, toothpick in it. You can't pick it up. You have to eat it with a fork. Bag of Lay's chips, and you're all set. So that's Payne's.
You're making me so hungry.
Yes. So Payne's is great. The other spot, there's 2 other spots. Bain Barbecue, which is a Texas style barbecue, which is blasphemy, you would think, but they do awesome brisket. It's in a trailer on the corner of Hollywood and Broad. They sometimes do breakfast, depending on Saturdays and Sundays. They do both pork and beef burnt ends, which I've not had, but are supposedly great. Their brisket's really tasty. Their breakfast looks amazing. So smoked brisket, burritos, stuff like that. The other barbecue spot, Elwood's, which is up on Summer and Perkins. Basically, it's in the parking lot of the Lowe's. Is awesome. Brisket taco, jalapeno blue cheese slaw. Will not just wrong. Okay, soul food category. Got to go with got to go with my heart. Got to go with Soulsville, USA. That's the legendary four-way grill on the corner of Mississippi and Walker. Been around since 1947. Dr. King used to eat there when he was in town. Sax artists used to eat there, get takeout from there all the time. So fantastic. Mr. Bates, who owned it for a long time, passed away. When his wife passed away, his daughter, Miss Patrice, took it over. The food has gotten better since Miss Patrice took it over.
What's it called again?
The Four-Way. The Four-Way Grill, Four-Way Grill. Traditional Southern meat and three.
Meat and three, right?
Yeah. So good fried chicken. I'm not a fried chicken guy, really, but it's pretty good. I'm a turkey dressing, collard greens, sweet potatoes.
When you say you're not a fried chicken guy, you just are you saying like specifically on the meat and three you don't go fried chicken?
I like it, but I'm not a fried chicken connoisseur. Like I don't crave it. Like I'll eat it and it's always good, but it's not what I get. So there you go. But the Four-Way is great. There's a number of other great soul food places in town too, but Four-Way, they're a neighbor in Soulsville where the Stax Museum is, and they're great. So
that's good. Is that close to that's close to the venue, I assume? Like not far.
Totally different direction.
Okay, all right.
So those of you that are staying downtown, it's a great place to go if you're going downtown, or if you've got some time to kill on Saturday or Sunday. But be aware on Sunday, church crowds on Sunday in Memphis are a real thing. Those of you who are Southerners obviously know that, but just be aware. The last one is a vegan recommendation. It's a place called City Silo. There's two locations, one on Sanderlin in East Memphis, kind of by a Kroger. There's a great restaurant called SOB right by there too. Vegan food. They do really good, just really solid vegan food. They do bowls. They use a lot of tempeh, which if you're a vegan, you love. They do a great thing. They do a buffalo cauliflower tempeh thing that I think is just amazing. And there's another one further out. So, again, like this, where the venue is, there's not hotels by the venue. Nobody's going to be able to, other than me, nobody's really going to be able to walk to the venue from a hotel. So you're going to either be driving or taking an Uber. So there's a lot of hotels out in East Memphis, not too far, kind of the 240 ring area. And so a lot of these places are close to that too. But City Silo is great. They have breakfast as well. Breakfast, Saturday or Sunday morning, Bryant's on the corner of across from my son's school, Graham Elementary. Go Dragons. It's on the corner of Graham and Summer. That is an old school Southern biscuit place. Just get a biscuit sandwich or 3 and be happy for the rest of the day.
Okay.
Eating recommendations. There you go. Okay.
I'm so hungry. Jeff, I'm so hungry. I can't even tell you. CJ Corbett, I guess he's talking about the soul food place. Do they fried chicken? Is that a thing? White gravy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I barely know what a meat and 3 is. So you got to help me out here. We do hot browns. And those are good too. So drinking, doing, or watching? Let's doing. Let's do doing next.
Doing. Okay. There's so many, but we'll kind of have one category, the museum category. I hope that you all come to the Stax Museum of American Soul Music, 926 East Macklemore, where I work.
Will that be open on Saturday?
Yes,
early?
Open Saturday and Sunday, 10 to 5. So plenty of time to visit us before the show. I will not be working this weekend because I will do the shows, but just be on the lookout on our social media page for something to entice you to come visit. So preview that.
You think there will be something to entice?
I think there will be, on the social medias. So
that's what they call a tease in the biz.
Tease, yeah. Sun Studios, where Elvis, Johnny Cash, Howlin' Wolf, Rufus Thomas, Ike Turner, Jerry Lee Lewis, all recorded on the corner of up at Union Avenue. It's the original studio. You can stand on the X where Elvis recorded Blue Suede Shoes, or all the amazing songs. They're open early and open a little bit later. That's a guided tour experience, but it's a great experience in the Memphis Rock and Soul Museum. So if you're downtown on Beale Street or staying downtown and are tired of drinking yards of beer outside, tired of listening to Blues Hammer, go in the Memphis Rock and Soul Museum, go see our friends John and Pam, and tell us that we sent them. We sent you to there. The Memphis Zoo is great for a mid-sized zoo if you want to be outside and just look at animals. Saturday at the Memphis Zoo, we'll warn you, is when the entire populations of Mississippi and Arkansas tend to go to the zoo.
Mm.
So it makes it, they're pretty crowded. So if you are concerned about,
crowd
what's going on
exposure,
there, crowd exposure, but it's a great zoo, lots to do. If, you're in town with your kids, or visiting, family that have kids or something, the zoo is a great place. Can't lose there. Crosstown Concourse is the old Sears distribution center. Great places to eat there. There's an art space. There's something called the Memphis Listening Lab, which is a collection of about 35,000 records that was donated by a guy that used to work for Ardent Records. It's a public listening lab. So go in if you want to listen to the most pristine copy of Led Zeppelin 3 that you've ever seen. You can listen to it.
Wow.
I've listened to some great Memphis music, but it's really just a cool, quiet space to hang out and just chill. And if it's raining and if you just need to be in some air conditioning, it's a great place to go. It's a very cool place. Great coffee shop up there too. There's a French Truck Coffee up in that building. And then I got to give a shout to my record stores, Goner Records and Cooper Young, Shangri-La and Madison, then the brand new River City Records on South Main downtown. Great shops, great used stuff, great place to kill time, great people that work there too. So, and then the other part would be Central Station, which is a downtown hotel. It's also the Amtrak station. There's a great restaurant there, but there's also a really great bar called 8 and Sand. It's down in the basement. They have DJs spinning records all night. Super good cocktails, a high-end speaker system. It's just a super cool place to chill, and it's made for selfies. So you can wear your favorite lot shirt. You could even wear your favorite fish lot shirt and take a great picture of yourself there. Do you want to know what the worst fish lot shirt I saw? I saw two terrible fish lot shirts. One I was actually offended by, and one I just thought was just stupid.
Okay.
You want to know?
No, I would love to.
Stupid one. Trey wearing a powder blue tuxedo in the style of Randy Watson in Coming to America with a shirt that says "Sexual Cinnamon."
Did you smack that person?
That's one. Two is, the offensive old school Braves logo with the screaming Indian brave. Take
that with Trey, put Trey's face on it.
With Trey face on it.
Yeah.
So I think that one actually may have usurped the General John Bell shirt that I saw last time Panic played at Mud Island.
Yeah. I know you like that one a lot.
I hope I see that guy again.
Let me ask you this: have you ever worn a shirt of a band to said band's concert?
No.
I mean, that's one of the commandments, right? There's like 3 of them, and that's one of the commandments.
Yes.
Okay.
I have
strong feelings.
I've waxed and waned on many things in my life, but I will put that in like the 3 or 4 things that I have never waxed and waned on. There was
I'm with you on that.
There was a woman at the museum a couple Sundays ago, and she was wearing a shirt for a band called Making Movies, which is this really awesome Panamanian band. They live in based in Kansas City. They're managed by a guy that used to live here in Memphis. Awesome band. And super, they're social justice warriors, and they stand for the right things, and their music's great, and they really are doing a great job. They did a record with Ruben Blades, but she was wearing this Making Movies shirt, and I haven't seen them in a long time since the manager left town. And I said, "Oh, Making Movies." And she's like, "Oh yeah." I said, "They're great." And she said, "Yeah, they are. They're playing at Rail Garden tonight." It's like, "Oh, really?" And my first thought was,
"You're not wearing that.
You're not going to wear that shirt." And I swallowed it.
Good. Well done. Good job.
And I said, "That's going to be a really great show. And the weather's really nice. You're going to enjoy that."
Yeah. Nice. Good for you.
Yeah. So let's do we'll do watching, and then we'll end up with.
I got one more question. Do you Can you listen to the band that you're going to see the day of the show?
See that one.
That's a corollary to the main theorem. I prefer not to.
I prefer not to.
I will not, kick somebody out of my house for requesting that or something. But I'd rather not.
I will not choose it. I don't understand it, especially in the lot.
How about in the lot?
Yeah, in the lot, I don't get it. Especially with a band like Panic, where they've got so many different. What's this? CJ Corbett says no, hip hop and JGB only.
Yes, that's correct. That's the right answer, CJ.
It is, yeah. Driving to the show, I could see it if you have a drive, but in the lot, no. Especially when you've got a band like Panic and you've got you have so much music. It's not like like you brought your Case Logic and the only 10 CDs you have are like from Summer Tour 2000 or something. I mean, you've got more than that on your. Lee Reynolds, is there a particular Georgia bar to watch the game Saturday? So that's my next comment is about watching. We are in the South.
All right. Well, I will say, hold on one second. Just because before we get off the topic, CJ says after show is acceptable. And I think that is true. If you're in the afterglow, if you need to put on, if you're really cool, you would put on the show that just happened.
In the old days. Yes.
Right. And then somebody's fired up their D8 and put it into the cassette adapter and they're playing it. But
the best was, in the lot, but yes, in the hotel room after the show, rewinding your dad.
Spinning dupes.
Spinning dupes.
Okay. All right. Anyway. Now we're so what do we have left? We have drinking and what else?
Yeah. So we'll do watching since Lee Reynolds brings up a good question. There a particular Georgia bar to watch the game on Saturday. So we are in the South. This is SEC.
Is Georgia playing somebody? Who's Georgia playing this weekend? Is it a big game?
Is it?
Arkansas is the Hogs, right?
It is.
They're playing the Hogs. That's almost as big as the Kentucky-Florida game,
and almost as big as the Ole Miss Alabama game. So it's a big SEC.
We're gonna learn a lot about some teams this weekend.
It just means more. Just never forget that. There are a number of places.
People in Texas and Oklahoma. Don't forget that.
Certainly look up your alumni networks and stuff to see which bars are which. I don't know. I'm not an alum of any SEC school, so I don't know. But two places that will be one pretty close to the venue and one that's just a good place to hang. The good place to hang is Rail Garden, which is a really cool outdoor bar. There's a bar and a restaurant indoors. You can get food outside. There's 3 or 4 bars that all have access, so you never have to wait. They have good cocktails, good beers, local beers on tap. They have Pabst Tall Boys, so thumbs up there. They have one giant main screen, so they'll put whatever major game is on, and then they have more TVs inside the bar itself. Another good place is called the Brookhaven Pub, which is on Poplar and Brookhaven Circle. So not too far from the venue. That's just a kind of a traditional old school sports bar. Awesome covered patio, big outdoor area, lots of TVs outside, good local beers on tap. Food's pretty good. Definitely a place you could hang out starting at the 11 o'clock kickoff and stay all the way until you go to the show on Saturday. I don't know which games. I know Alabama Ole Miss is the 2:30 game. So is Georgia, Arkansas. That's not 11, is it?
I don't know. We should look this up. The Kentucky Florida game's at 7 on, but that might be on the Deuce. So it might be that is on ESPN Main. I'll effort that information. But where is the?
I'll do one more, and then go ahead.
I was going to say, what's the Wisconsin? Where do you watch the Wisconsin game?
Nowhere, because it's boring as fuck. Why would you even watch it?
So Arkansas, Georgia's at noon on ESPN.
It's an 11 o'clock kick. So another place to go, which there's several of them around town. Huey's is this Memphis legendary place. There's several of them. Good burgers, again, local beers, but tons of TVs and another good place to sit. Some of them have patios and such. If you're way out in Germantown, Let It Fly Sports Bar, owned by the great Mike Miller.
Florida Gator.
former University of Memphis assistant basketball coach and Memphis Grizzly Mike Miller. Has a sports bar. I've not been out there, but I've heard good things.
Did they get rid of him to hire an old crooked head coach, former head coach that has been in trouble with?
I don't have any grandparents left, so I'm gonna defend Larry Brown like my grandfather this year. I think. So, but yeah,
we'll see how it goes.
One of the things I loved about New Orleans, going to New Orleans, was that was always the weekend of the cocktail party, and that was always the weekend of Texas, Oklahoma. And so you got Texas, Oklahoma at 11, and you got the cocktail party at 2:30, and wherever you went on Bourbon Street or wherever you went off of Bourbon Street, you would find just a clutch of Panic fans screaming at the TV, watching football, having bourbon drinks, drinking beers, and then, a few hours later, they would be out in the lot doing the same thing, getting ready for Panic. So that was always fun. So this is a great weekend. I mean, it's just the weather, if it wasn't going to rain, the weather is going to be perfect. And you've got great shows, and then you've got just 3 awesome football games, SEC games on Saturday too.
So you got Florida, Kentucky at 5 Central. You got Arkansas, Georgia at 11. Michigan, Wisconsin at 11 as well. Cincinnati, Notre Dame.
Oh, that's a big one too. Yeah.
Yep. Ole Miss, Alabama at 2:30. I feel like there's another. Baylor, Oklahoma State at 6. And then Auburn, LSU at 8. So you might be able to catch the end of that after the show. You get over and watch the end of the Auburn LSU game.
So yeah. And if we come up with some other ones, we can put it somewhere. I don't know where we put it. But
on a thing somewhere.
So I'll do the last one, drinking. It's important. So we'll just do beers. I already mentioned.
And don't tell people about Ambers. Nobody wants to drink an Amber.
Yeah, nobody wants to hear about Ambers. Wiseacre Brewing. There's 2 locations. There's one up on Broad. That's your OG, which is an awesome place to hang out. They have an indoor pub, but they have a huge patio outside. All of these places. One of the best things about breweries in Memphis is they're all 100% kid friendly. So if you have kids with you, you can take them. Whatever, it doesn't just, there's stuff for them to do. People don't care if they run around. It's great. The one thing that does suck though is in COVID, nobody has free popcorn anymore. So Wiseacre.
So can I say, I just want to aside here, Jeff.
Sure.
Now that both of my children have had COVID, we're now ready to travel because we're basically now all bulletproof.
Yeah,
so
seriously.
Let us know when you're ready to have us come visit because we're ready to hit the road.
November.
I'm ready to eat some good food and
all right. Wiseacre Brewing, 2 locations, the downtown one, which I already talked about, and then the one on Broad, the OG. Our good friends over at Memphis Made Brewing in Cooper Young. Cooper Young is like the cool, I wouldn't say hippie, but the cool sort of hip neighborhood. There's a great brewery, Memphis Made, on Cooper Street. Again, good beers, really good people, big outdoor patio, covered patio area with picnic tables. But as you go down the street, you get Maciel's Tacos, which is an awesome sort of street taco place. They have a soup called caldo de talpeño, which it'll be 80 degrees, but it's the best soup in Memphis. It's a giant bowl of goodness. It's amazing. Parish Grocery, which is Memphis's only po' boy shop. Another bar called Hammer and Ale. Oh, there's an Irish pub on Cooper that also will have a ton of football games on too. And there's a ton of bars downtown on Beale Street that have football. Hammer and Ale is a beer bar.
Can I ask about a po' boy? I mean, there are people out there that will put fried shrimp on a piece of bread and call it a po' boy.
No, it's legit. No, they're real po' boys. They're not as good as New Orleans, but they're real. They're
right. Okay.
They get the bread. What's the place from in New Orleans?
Leidenheimer's. People call it French bread, but it's actually German bread, is what it is. Hence Leidenheimer's.
Yeah, they get Leidenheimer's shipped in, however, daily or whatever. So, so from there, Parish Grocery, across the street's Hammer and Ale. Next door to that's a place called Sweetgrass, which is a cool place. It's also in the same neighborhood as Garner Records, and then Young Avenue Deli, which is a great bar with tons of local beers on tap, really good food. Turkey Reuben is great, best fries in Memphis, and they'll have a bunch of TVs too. And that's a great place because you can watch football, drink a good beer, and all the wait staff has like a bajillion tattoos, and they're super cool and chill. So it's a fun place. Meddlesome Brewery, which is out in Cordoba. So that is in Germantown Parkway, far east side of Memphis, past the Shelby Farms Park, where the previous 2 Memphos are held. I love Meddlesome beer. They have a great brown ale, Harvey, believe it or not, and a great black lager too. But Meddlesome's a great place. They do a lot of different styles well. Crosstown Brewing is at Crosstown Concourse, which I talked about. I'm drinking their Crosstoberfest right now. There you go. And that's a good place to hang out. And they always have a good food truck. All these breweries, if they don't have food, have food trucks too.
So I do want to, I want to give a shout out. There's a thing these days. They didn't do this back when we were going to shows. With like sticker exchanges. Have you heard of this? They call them sticker cons. Yeah. You go and everybody gets together and you trade stickers.
Oh man.
Yeah, it's cool. So they're doing
one of these things?
They're doing a sticker con on Saturday at the Rail Garden.
Oh, nice.
From 1 to 3. So
cool. That's great.
Check that out if you're into the sticker con. Go to Rail Garden on Saturday. I'm gonna have to get
out some of my vintage AFD Pete Sarantacos made stickers.
I wonder if Pete's coming over from Nashville. Pete's in Nashville. I bet Pete might be at the show. Jeff, if you go to the Rail Garden, you could sign some, some autographed Bluest Tape stickers.
I have a ton of Bluest Tape stickers. Oh man,
Harvey, should do that.
This is amazing.
Get on it.
The last brewery I'll recommend.
I've only ever asked one thing of you, Jeff. And the thing is to go to, and you didn't come through when I asked you to go live stream from the Fish Show.
Grind City.
I need you to go to StickerTron and give out Bluest Tape stickers.
Grind City Brewing, which is downtown, north end of downtown, kind of overlooks the river. Just a big open field, and beer's pretty good. They'll have a food truck, but it is a great place just to sit, chill, play bags, testy toss, throw a frisbee around, whatever it might be, and just relax before the shows. So, again, it's a bummer that it might rain, but it's not going to be a total washout. But Memphis is a place to. If you want to be an active drinker, and I refer to Beale Street as active drinking, you can do that, but there's a lot of places to be passive and just sit around and BS, and a lot of places to watch the game. So
you said bag tossing. Is that what we call cornhole up here?
Bags, yeah, bags.
Okay, like on down to a
and then
a wooden thing with a hole in it.
Yes, and then
what was the other thing? Testy tossing.
Testy toss, ladder golf.
Oh, when you throw the thing in it.
Yeah.
That is an upper Midwestern thing.
Yeah.
It is not down here in Kentucky.
How about Can Jam? Do you guys have Can Jam?
Mm-mm.
One of my favorite games to see at a brew pub, and Rail Garden has this, is giant beer pong using like soccer balls and garbage cans. Have you seen that before?
No, I haven't.
That's pretty fun.
Okay.
Yeah. Rail Garden has good games, good drinking games too. So
nice.
There you go. That is not
an awesome
list,
but well executed. So.
And that's just with like 20 words written on this piece of paper. That was all from memory. It's like I do this for a living.
Right. Well, that sounds like a lot of good things for folks to do when they're in Memphis. I assume people will be showing up on maybe even tomorrow. I mean, on Thursday as we're live here on Wednesday. Yep. Folks will be coming into Memphis tomorrow. Is Memphis State playing football this weekend? Are they going to be in town at the Liberty Bowl?
Okay. Had a brutal loss to Texas San Antonio on Saturday. Blew a 21-0 lead. Lost on a last-second field goal. I took Presley. His first.
Wasn't there a thing with what was the punt return? When was that?
That was the week before against Mississippi State. Yes.
And did they execute the cheated? They broke the rules and benefited from the. Okay.
Harvey, we don't care about the rules in Memphis.
Clearly not.
No.
Because you hired Larry Brown. So that's great.
Stop saying mean things about my grandpa. But no, I think they're at Temple this weekend.
Okay.
So yeah, focus will be on Mempho.
Nice.
Wow. So should we do listening recommendations? I'm sure you don't have a panic one because you don't even listen to Widespread.
I don't really. I just listen to J-Rad and Billy Strings all the time.
can't even talk to you sometimes. So I'm gonna go with
It has been recently. I do want to give a shout out because today and yesterday were the anniversaries. I guess the 26th anniversaries of two Tennessee shows in '95 in Knoxville and Nashville that I skipped for some reason, even though I had friends that went to. Poor decision on my part, but great show in Knoxville. There was an official release that Sam Holt curated, and then the next night in Nashville was which had a David Blackman appearance at Riverfront Park. So those are great. Those will be my picks, Jeff. Check out 928, 929, 95 if you haven't listened to those before.
And we're coming up on anniversary shows. October 2nd, the opening, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, the opening 3 shows of Fall Tour 98, Minneapolis, St. Paul, Milwaukee. 99, we've got the 2021 calendar is the same as the 1999 calendar. So we've got the Backyard tomorrow night and Friday night.
The Warfield Run.
Bronco Bowl, and then you've got the Warfield Run. So my recommendation is 9/26/99. So that would have been 22 years ago this past Sunday, Little John Coliseum, Clemson, South Carolina. I feel so terrible that Clemson lost the other night. I had a hard time sleeping.
Really? I was like halfway in. I was like, oh, really? I was like, oh, no, he's not.
But the 3rd show of the Fall Tour, the first 2 shows at Oak Mountain, I'm sure everybody was there or has heard them. But this Sunday night show, never miss a Sunday show, but never miss the show after a run, like we talked about. An Afterglow show. Awesome. The first set, the second set's good. And I mean, there's some high points, but the first set's just rips. There's a moment in Wrangler Heroes to start off. I mean, if you want to, when a crowd is amped before a show, I would put Wrangler in like that upper echelon of openers for an amped crowd, wouldn't you?
Right. Yeah, for sure. Because if the crowd is not into it, then that can be it can land flat, right? Yeah. Wrangler can sometimes land flat early on, but if they're into it, it can go. It's like take it,
Yeah, it's right. Launch. I mean, it's up there with obviously Disco. It's still the king of openers, but it's right there. So Wrangler Heroes to open, Blight Tire Shoes, and then this Legba Party at Your Mama's House, Please, Conrad. There are some point that Legba is. I mean, this is a Mikey set, and this Legba is just nuts. Like he's just got him eaten out of the palm of his hand. It's crazy. I mean, it's just, you listen to it and it's just like that, the part where you think it's the wave's going to break and it just keeps going and going and going. And then the crowd is like, okay, you're waiting. And then, he does it. It's so awesome. So it's such a good show. It's such a fun show. And, again, could take or leave a lot of those 99 shows because of JoJo on the Strange Brew keyboard. But man, when they're on, they're on. It's the second set stuff that gets weird. The first sets are usually pretty normal. Yeah, it's good. So that's my recommendation. 9/26.
That's a good one. Nice. Yep. Any predictions of the 2 shows? And especially if you can, are there Memphis callbacks? Do you think a junior? Do you see a junior? Anything else? The Shape I'm In.
That's I'm going to go with The Shape I'm In with Nathaniel. What do you think Billy Strings will sit in? I mean, you're the Billy Strings whisperer. So, I mean, do you think they'll play one of Billy Strings originals? Do you think they'll incorporate those?
I mean, that would be cool. That's pretty rare. I mean, I would think more likely would be like All Time Low because he plays that.
Oh, yeah.
In his
that's
sets.
Right. Sure.
And then, I could see they did Chunk of Coal, I think, in Nashville. So, I mean, I could see something from that vein that would be, I don't know. But something like a good good party dance type of song. I mean, I want to say Red Beans. I don't think it's Red Beans, but something cut from that ilk that would be
cut from that
ilk. How about, I mean, could we see maybe like a 1x1? That might be fun.
Mhm.
And I mean, I doubt we'll see a George McConnell appearance, but George has appeared in Memphis before.
He has. He's just down the road. He's an hour
Was
away.
that him right there? That just
Yes, driving his Dodge Challenger, drag racing on Quinns Avenue. Itabina is close. There you go. He's right by. So we've got that would be a George return would be met with a genuine yawp from me.
Yeah, no, I think that'd be great. It's time. I think that I do. I mean, all jokes aside, I think it would be nice for them to bring him back at some point, just to sort of close the circle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And show that there's no hard feelings. And I'm sure there's not.
You
know
don't
what
even
I mean?
need to do Doretha. Just like have him come out and wail away on a couple of JoJo songs and just
well, I mean, his thing was always Dear Mr. Fantasy, right? And he did that. It was like I could see George for Dear Mr. Fantasy and a Stop Breaking Down Blues.
Sure.
That'd be good.
That would be great.
Yeah.
That would be, there you go, encore. Saturday night encore.
Oh,
actually, no,
awesome.
it'll probably be Yard of Blood Girls.
No, we'll never play that again.
Sorry. Sorry, George.
Well,
what about you? What's your recommendation? What have you listened to or watched?
Man, I don't know. I mean, you've been watching season 2 of Ted Lasso?
Ted Lasso, that only murders in the building.
Yeah, I haven't watched that yet. I've heard that's pretty
fun.
good.
Yeah, it's pretty Ted Lasso is good.
There's a good podcast I've been listening to. What is it called? It's a true crime one. It is called Suspect. That's good. I've been listening to that.
Yeah.
I went to the play.con since we last talked out in Colorado to the board game conference.
That's right.
And was shocked with how normal and cool the people were there. Like I was like super excited, and on my way out there, I'm like, there is a greater than 0% chance that this will all be old, nerdy, white, like lame white dudes that I have nothing in common with. But in fact, it was a majority of like actually very normal, hip, cool dudes. So it was fun.
That's good. That's
good.
Not all basement dwellers.
No. People that had seen the sun. There were a couple of those, but for the majority, people that had seen the sunshine.
Did you pick up some new games?
I did. I got the NASCAR game. I've been playing the NASCAR game recently, which has been fun. So,
what about the CFL 1960 game?
I haven't got the CFL. It's like basically the only one I haven't got yet. The CFL and the wrestling. Those are the only 2 games I don't have. So maybe I'll get that one day.
Well, all right. There you go.
Yeah.
Mempho coming up.
Yeah, I'm super excited for you. It's been, when was your last show? Was it Mud Island?
Yeah.
And that was like 3
summers ago. Yeah.
Wow. So fun.
It's really good. Like I like this every 2 years thing. It's like, I don't get sick of it. And, I get all excited. And then as soon as they play some shit I don't want to hear, it's like, oh, God.
No, you're not going to get any of that.
No, I'm going to.
Especially one set shows. I think, and especially that they haven't played in a month and
a long time.
I think they're going to bring some. It'll be interesting to see because, like, they clearly, the Wilmington shows were off the charts, right? And it was like, and those were destination shows. Like people were there to see them and only them. And it's a little bit different in a festival setting, but they're the definite headliners, certainly Friday and Saturday, right? Like that's what people are there for. So,
and I think that's really what the festival needed to sustain, because it was really, I mean, they were selling 3-day passes, but it was very much like, I don't see, like when Post Malone was the headliner, I didn't see people coming to town and staying for 3 days.
No.
And Post Malone was on Sunday. Like they're just going to come in and see Post Malone on Sunday.
Yeah.
Now you're going to get for sure people that come in for Friday, Saturday, and then maybe they'll stay until Sunday. So putting them on Friday, Saturday is the best move too, I think, as far as sustaining the crowd,
the festival. So I hope it, I hope it's good energy, and I hope you get some good shows, and I'm sure you will. So we'll do a recap show. Maybe?
Recap, a special guest. wife Jennifer will be here.
Oh yes, that's right, Jen.
Her very first Widespread Panic concert.
Is it legit her first show?
Oh, yeah.
You had never drug her to one before.
No. Well, what has there been to drag her to?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I thought maybe because she'd seemed like the trucker. I mean, I guess you were kind of you were on the sidelines during those years.
Yeah.
But she's been to shows. She's just.
Oh yeah, she's fallen asleep at both Drive-By Truckers and Lucero concerts.
Do you think will she? Are you gonna bring a blanket? Can you bring a blanket? Will you bring a blanket so that she can maybe lay down if it gets super boring? It's been a long day. You drank a lot of beer. It might be time to just have a little lay down.
She does that too. I mean, she's just going to sit around on Sunday. 11 o'clock hits. That Arkansas Georgia kickoff is, as soon as the foot hits the ball, she's cracking those 8% White Claws, man. That's no, I don't know. We'll hang out in the back, and I would say I'll be wearing X so that people can find me. But the 11 people that are listening right now. I think it'll just be natural kismet. You'll just know me when you see me.
Yeah.
I'll have I won't wear my Ask Me About Widespread Panic podcast t-shirt.
I will say I've had a couple folks walk up to me at shows before and recognize me, which is cool, which is fun. So I hope that you get that.
So my go-to shirt has become, and this is funny, and I guess this would be my tell, is that we've had him on the pod, and we've talked about how one of my best friends in the world is Mark Spusta, who's done posters for Panic and all kinds of awesome artwork for bands, and then his own non-band stuff. And so Mark sent me some shirts and things for the kids, and then he sent a shirt with one of his characters on it. And so that, I think I'm gonna wear that shirt one night, because when I went to Fish, and I texted him right away. It was before, of course, we got into the show. We're old, so we go into the show early, and we get in there, and as soon as some guy who's older than me comes up and is like, "Hey man, nice Spusta," and I was like, "Mark, I just got love because of your shirt." So if you see somebody wearing a green Mark Spusta t-shirt, that might be me. Nice. If I can find my red UNLV hat, there will be a red UNLV hat too.
That's old school for sure.
That's old school. Yeah. So there you go.
Well, thanks everybody for joining us. Hopefully you got a couple tips for the weekend.
Lots of tips. Lots of tips.
I'm excited. I haven't been to Memphis in a long time. What about the Cabela at
the Bass Pro Shops at the Pyramid?
The Bass Pro Shops at the Pyramid, is that worth going to?
I mean,
no. Okay.
It's kind of it's like Graceland. Every American should go once.
That's what I was going to say. You didn't mention Graceland or the Bass Pro Shops. Are those two things that people should go or not?
I mean, if you want to see a Bass Pro Shops with fish in it and the Ducks Unlimited Duck Call Museum and stuff, it's cool. I mean, you can take the world's tallest freestanding elevator up and look out over the river. And if you have time, Graceland's great. It's the best house museum in the country, and every American should see it at least once.
Okay. But go to Stax if you have a choice.
Go to Stax Museum of American Cities. Tell them Jeff sent you.
All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching or listening. We'll get this up on the podcast tomorrow. And so it's been fun. We'll talk. I can't wait to hear what Jen has to say. I think she's going to have some hot takes.
So, yeah, I mean, she's had hot takes throughout much of our relationship. She used to do the fantasy football draft for us before automated drafts, online drafts, and was paid in chicken strips. And so that was always sort of letting her behind the curtain of nerdiness.
So is she chicken? Do you like chicken strips? Because you already said you don't like fried chicken.
Yeah. I mean, I don't order them out, but I mean, I live in a house with an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old, so they eat chicken strips.
What what's your choice chicken strip place?
I mean, I like Hattie B's.
Okay.
Frankly.
Okay.
You're trying to be you like what Raisin Cane's, right?
Yeah, Cane's is the thing.
Yeah. All right. On that note.
Yep. All right. Thanks everybody. We'll talk to you next week-ish. Have fun this weekend. Thanks, Jeff.
Bye. Have fun. Be safe.